Hey Reel Filmmakers, it's Corey. Today I wanted to take a moment to talk about something that I don't really see mentioned in the creative space, in YouTube and different creative circles that I'm a part of. And that's the idea of creating for yourself. Now you might hear that and you'd be like, Corey, what are you talking about? Like if you're making videos on YouTube, you're creating for yourself all the time. But that is really not the truth. Whether you are a hobbyist, whether you're trying to break into the work industry, maybe you're working full-time as a videographer, the truth is a lot of the projects that we end up working on are tied to different things. If you're a hobbyist working like video for like a friend's wedding or a friend's engagement, or maybe you're filming something like you're a teacher at school and you're filming something for your school's event. Maybe you're trying to break into the industry and you're just taking a whole bunch of gigs for different things, DPing on other people's short films or, documentary stuff, like whatever. Or maybe if you're full-time in the industry, you've got jobs and you're just going like boom, 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 like one after the other. And all that stuff is great. But like I said, in the midst of that, how often do we stop to create for ourselves? For me, like I said, as I've looked over the creative landscape, I feel like I don't see people talking about that enough. And like, obviously, I don't mean this in a way of like, I create everything for myself and I never do any work, because if you're doing this for a living, you gotta work. But taking time to really stop and just be like, I'm gonna make something for myself. And I think in doing that too, there's a lot of like expectations and pressure that we as filmmakers and just creatives in general put on ourselves. We want to be producing things of like high excellence and high quality, and I'm totally in that camp. I just watched a rough cut of something that I helped film and direct over the last couple weeks, and it was exciting, but it was also like gut-wrenching because I know how much work has to, continue on with that. But we want to do things with excellence. We want to do things with quality, but sometimes just taking time to step aside and create something for ourselves, even if it's not the most perfect thing, that is healthy. That's good. I think there's power in being able to step away and start an idea that's ours and take it all the way through to completion. I think there's something really powerful about that. For me, as I've experienced different periods of writer's block or creative block or whatever you want to call it, where I'm just going through stuff, and I do a fair amount of videography for my job currently, and some other things, and like doing stuff for the YouTube channel. Even that, there's a lot of those things where it's like I'm passionate about the things I'm doing, but they're all tied to different, I don't want to say agendas, I don't really like that word, but they're tied to different things. There's a purpose when you're doing stuff at work, or if you're a hobbyist, or if you're trying to get out there and hustle stuff, there's purposes tied to all those things. Like I've mentioned already, like, you're doing it for a friend, you're doing it for a client, you're doing it like whatever. And obviously it is your work, so you are creating, but it's for them and not fully for you. And so when I have writer's block, when I have creative block, sometimes the best thing I can do is stop and just say, I'm gonna create for me today. But that doesn't mean like I just throw standards out the window and just like make something that is just like slapdash and not good, but just something where it's like, I'm not going to put all that pressure, all those expectations on myself, but I'm gonna create something that I wanna create. Maybe it's just as simple as like, I'm gonna go on a walk today and I'm gonna video some stuff in the park. Or maybe I'm gonna go get my camera and just take some pictures of like that flower garden over there that I've seen for the last 3 weeks when I drive home from work, but I'm never able to stop and get over there. Doing something for yourself, creating something for you. Maybe there's a small little like micro film or short film that you can film in like a day or two. Find some time to do that. I think as creators, I love being a creator, but I think it's so easy for us to experience burnout because we're doing all these different things. We're going constantly. We're going 100 miles an hour, We're wanting to create. We have so many ideas, but like I said, so many of those ideas get tied to other people or clients or work, and there's a bit of the creative self that doesn't get to be fully expressed in that way. Obviously, you do get to express a lot of yourself, but not fully. If like you come up with an idea, you create it, you shoot it, all that stuff. So I think it's important. I think it's so important for creators to take that time, to take that space, and to be able to go and do those things. Just stop and think about, when was the last time that you went out and shot something for you? You know, not, like I said, tied to anybody, but just for you. I think there is wisdom and there's a lot of good in being able to set aside some time to do that for you. It might vary, like how often you need to do that. Maybe it's like a monthly thing. Maybe it's once every couple weeks. You need to just say, I'm taking like 2 or 3 hours and I'm gonna do this for myself. Obviously, that doesn't, you know, absolve us of responsibility or doing all these other things that we have to do, but I think for our lives as creators, and I think for if you're a working videographer or a hobbyist or trying to break into it, I think it benefits us to have times to creatively refill our tank, so to speak. And that's going to affect our work going forward. And if you're dry and you're burnt out and you're just going through the grind and you're just muscling it out, you know, there's kudos for some of that, but you know, we all know those feelings of when we're just muscling through it and it's not our best work, or our whole heart's not in it. And you know, like I know every job your whole heart can't be in it, but like in terms of creatively, I'm gonna make this the best thing creatively I can do. I know I've had seasons where that's not always the case. And when I've been able to stop and say, when's the last time I created for me? That has been a great solution, a great way to get the creative gears turning again. So guys, thanks for listening to this video. A little bit different than my other videos, but I just want to talk about this because I feel like it's a very important thing that doesn't get talked about in the creative space, and we need to have that time to create for ourselves. So when was the last time you created something for yourself? Was it today, 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago? Why don't you stop, think about that, and let me know in the comments, you know, what you think about this. As always, guys, you can find more of the content here on the channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I really appreciate it. You can check out more stuff on the blog I'm affiliated with, and until next time, get out there and make some movies, and make something for yourself too.